Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Auscast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Auscast.
Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.
In a world where everyone says hello,
they dare to say,
g'day.
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, good day.
Yeah, g'day. Yes. Good day. Yeah. G'day. G'day. Yeah. G'day. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good day.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Good day.
G'day. Hey. Yeah. G'day. Yeah. G'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah. G'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Welcome to Yeah G'day, the complete guide to Australia. The only guide you need. Any other guide, throw it out the window, burn it, put it in the trash, put in the paper shredder.
Yeah, if you've made an order online for another guide to Australia, see if you can get a refund.
Yeah.
Sometimes if that hasn't left the warehouse yet,
Yeah.
you can get ahead of it. They'll actually give you the refund.
Yeah.
Once it's left the warehouse, you're probably not going to get it. So just put that straight in the bin, though.
Alternatively, if there is another guide, if you could redirect it, we don't need it, but we'd love to see it.
No.
If you could just, and we're not going to use it, but if you could.
We're just interested in all of the content inside it.
Yeah. It's like, Wikipedia on a page.
Yeah.
So that is the job that Tim and I have been tasked with. It's not the job that we want, but it's the job that you need, is us to tell you about Australia.
Yeah.
I think.
We quite often go and start doing things that we don't want.
No.
And keep it going for multiple years.
Yeah, look, 2.5 years of doing something I don't want to do, but
Yeah.
Tim, with the fan base that we have,
The world needs it.
with the outpour that would happen if we quit, it's not worth it.
No.
It's like John Farnham doing one of his farewell tours.
Yeah.
The emotional heartbreak is too much.
I certainly couldn't handle the 2 to 3 messages I would receive if this was to end. Honestly, I don't know. I don't have time to read it. I don't.
Couldn't handle Mum going, "That's a shame.
Yeah.
You'll find something else."
Anyway,
Yeah.
talking about finding things that are gone.
Oh, that was a good segue.
That was a decent
That was
segue.
good.
I almost tripped a bit, but we got there.
That was a time. We'll edit that. We'll get that in post. We always get that in post.
And I mean, it's kind of relevant in a way.
Yeah,
Potentially,
could be.
theoretically, based on some confirmed reports.
What is? I'm confused.
The thing could be found.
Oh, I
maybe
see.
it's still
I
there.
get it. Yes, I understand now. This week, due to popular demand, and by that I mean it was mentioned once, and we've been meaning to do it for a long time, and my own recent trip to its native habitat, talking about the Tasmanian tiger.
Tasmanian tiger, or the Thylacine, which was what it's actually called.
By saying the Thylacine very quickly, it sounds like you said the Thylacine.
The Thylacine. Thylacine. Its Latin name, I can actually say, Thylacinus cynocephalus.
Ooh, it's got what now? It's got cephalus.
Yeah, it's got cephalus. Cynocephalus. I believe cyno is Latin for some, it's like dog or something like that. So don't look that up.
No.
Just trust me on that
Put
one.
down
I'm
the
pretty
fork.
sure it is, though. Yeah, it's also,
Thylacine.
it's called Tasmanian tiger. Also, it was referred to sometimes as the Tasmanian wolf.
That makes
know that,
more
did you?
sense to me,
Yeah.
which we will get into, but that makes more sense to me.
Yes.
Now, Tasmanian tiger,
Mm.
it's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
It's strange.
Not a tiger, though. Not a feline, actually.
No.
It's dog-like.
It's more on the dog-like side.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about we'll get into it. Tim, what are the cold hard facts of the Thylacine?
Cold hard facts. Look, the cold hard unfortunate fact is, as far as we are aware, they went extinct in the 30s, 1930s.
They did.
At the very beginning of their existence, they're actually native to continental Australia as well as Tasmania and New Guinea.
Oh, okay.
So they were found in New Guinea as well originally. They were a medium to large size dog sort of creature.
They look like red dog size. They also
Sorry?
look like red dog. They look like a red dog size.
They
It's
do
like
a
do you
little
get Kelpie
bit.
or something?
They did have an abdominal pouch, much like a kangaroo.
Okay, so marsupial.
So I believe they are marsupial. They're a carnivorous marsupial, and they're probably one of the only surviving ones from the time period. We've mentioned it before, the megafauna period in Australia. We actually got quite a few carnivorous marsupials, and they're all fucking enormous. And they're not 100% sure exactly what happened to all of them, but it's believed that human habitation in Australia probably led to them being slowly killed off because they were very dangerous. Completely understandable.
Is the Tassie devil the only carnivorous marsupial left?
I
feel like we touched on
I think we talked about the
numbat.
Yeah, the numbat, I'm pretty sure, is semi-carnivorous. I think there's a few.
But the Tasmanian devil, as I found out recently, is purely carnivorous.
Yeah.
So maybe. Anyway,
They're
but we're not
crazy
talking about
little
him. We're
fuckers.
talking about his best friend, his cousin.
Yeah, so let's go right back. So they
Take it
first
back.
appeared, it's believed they first appeared in their modern form about 4 million years ago, in the Miocene era.
Getting all the technical
I bet you know
terms out.
exactly what I'm talking about. When I say the Miocene era,
Well,
you can picture it in your head, can't you?
I kind of can. I did Earth and Environmental. That
Yeah.
was I had to know those things, but I don't remember them anymore.
Yeah, so that's good. So during the Pleistocene and the early Holocene period, they were very widespread throughout all of Australia and New Guinea.
Yeah.
So I think I had it here before. I don't know exactly when they went extinct in New Guinea so much, but I know that in continental Australia, about 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
So as Jesus was being ripped from his mother's womb,
As he was rising from the ashes like a phoenix.
we lost the real hero of the piece, the continental Tasmanian tiger.
The real Jesus, if you will.
So that's something.
Yeah, so after that it was confined.
Yeah, and there are numerous rock paintings, engravings, and rock art dating back to about 1000 BC.
I picture when you say rock art, like rock and roll art, like it dressed in Twisted Sister outfits.
Yeah, they just did a bunch of like 60s and 70s rock record
Like
pictures,
vinyl
and
covers.
you just replace it with a thylacine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find petroglyphs
Oh.
and pictures and paintings of them in caves. Petroglyph is just a picture on a rock.
Oh, did you know that word before now?
Hey,
I thought you would.
yes, I did. I studied history.
No Japanese on this podcast.
Hey.
you find
So the first European explanation of these creatures, the first time we saw the Europeans when they arrived, like Abel Tasman was here in 1642,
Okay.
and all that sort of stuff. So like, obviously, the Indigenous Australians knew of them. Clearly,
Yes.
Europeans had seen them around, referred to them. One guy in 1772 referred to them as tiger cats.
Okay. He's not far off.
he's
Although
pretty close.
A tiger is a
Yeah.
cat, so I don't know what he's getting at there.
Yeah. But the first detailed description by a European was George Harris in 1808, which is about 5 years after the first settlement of Tasmania. That's
Right.
the first like detailed description.
Okay.
They are related genetically, technically to the numbat,
All right. Awesome.
to quolls,
Yes.
and two creatures I've never heard of before called dunnarts and wombangers.
A wombanger is now, by the sounds of it, going to be my favorite animal.
Yeah, they look like little mice creatures.
That's fun.
Um,
Are they like, because quolls are Tasmania only now, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Numbats.
Actually. Numbats you can find in Western and South Australia.
Yeah.
We've talked about.
But I wonder how, if their close relation is due to their geographic positions.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
There was rumor as well, even though they had mostly died in on the continental mainland and lived predominantly in Tasmania in the last little bit there was rumors that they had been spotted in South Australia as well in that time period.
Well, they were just trying to make themselves seem interesting.
Yeah, you got to have some everywhere. They came across the strait there. So not being around anymore, we do have a few photos from just before they went extinct. But we have a few descriptions as well, so we kind of know generally what they looked like. And
Well, it's not generally. We have photographic evidence.
Yeah.
That's what I was hinting at when I said it's weird. Is that to me, like, there have been animals that have gone extinct in my lifetime. I know that is a fact. There are some that right now I'm sure it's happening. But the Tasmanian tiger scene was weird to me because I think it was the first one that I was aware of that was around close enough to my existence and that there's video and photographs of.
And there's old people that you know who may have been alive to see them.
Yeah, well, I guess, like, I think Nana, I think, is close enough to that time of she would have been alive. She may not have seen one, but she would have been alive.
Yeah.
But like that is weird to me. It's weird to see an extinct animal in a black and white film because you can see there's a Tasmanian tiger. I think it was like the last one in captivity, maybe. And you can see it walking around.
33, they took the final photo. It's the last one, the last photo of a Thylacine that we have.
Which as I said, it just kind of trips me out because I guess as a kid, your understanding of extinction is dinosaurs, dodo, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then there's this Thylacine that there's video footage of. Anyway, that's something that I find.
So anyway, about 3,500 years ago, at this point, they are the largest predator in Australia.
Huge.
So maybe people are like, well, what about dingoes? Hey, here's a fact for you. Dingoes were introduced to Australia by human settlers.
Oh.
True
a dingo
fact.
got me, baby, and I brought it in myself.
True story. So up until that point, the Thylacine was the biggest one here. They kind of resemble a large, short-haired dog. They have a stiff tail. Their body, it's kind of similar to a kangaroo in some ways.
Kind of.
I've noticed among Australian animals, native animals, there is like a very Australian structure to their bodies.
Yeah, we have
makes sense.
We have a stock template and we copy paste that for all animals.
Basically, they're all muscly as shit.
Yeah, they're muscle.
Yeah,
and they're
and
furry.
quite coarse hair usually, like a short, coarse
but soft
fur.
to touch.
Yeah.
The thing about as you said, the body, it's very dog-like. The head looks dog-like until it opens its mouth, and then it's weird as shit.
Yeah, it is odd. They were in the early days when European settlers first saw them, they were compared to hyenas, which I can understand because they are quite similar in some aspects. They're very stiff bodies, apparently.
Yeah, they don't walk very well.
They walked really weirdly and had a really stiff gait. They have stripes, which were more pronounced in the younger, and then they supposedly faded as they got older. And those were kind of started in the middle of the back and went down to their bum.
Yeah, not too many
tail.
though. Like it's kind of like just a nice little clumping. Like they're not covered like a tiger.
Yeah,
but
that's where the name Tasmanian tiger came from. Is from the stripes.
Yeah.
So a mature thylacine range from about 100 to 130 centimeters long. So that's 39 to 51 inches to our American friends.
Okay.
And then the tail added on to that was another 50 to 65 centimeters, so 20 to 26 inches.
So is that like 2 meters long almost?
Yeah, it's pretty.
You said 130 and then about 50 or 60.
almost 2 meters long. They stood about 60 centimeters at height on the shoulder. So that's 24 inches. Weighed about 20 to 30 kilos, 40 to 70 pound.
Heavy dude.
It's big. They're bigger than I don't know why, but whenever I think about them, I actually don't imagine them being that big.
I just imagine them being the size of a dog.
Yeah, because they're quite thin as well.
Yeah.
And the males are supposed to be bigger than the females on average. The female had a pouch, 4 teats.
Do you know which way it faced?
To the rear.
Now, why is that, Tim? Do you know why that is? Because I do.
No, please tell me.
Well, I'm basing this off my recent trip to, as I said, Tasmania. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
The Tasmanian devil, and I think others of I think wombats are probably the same. Their pouch faces the rear because if they dig or they tunnel or that, so they're not just flicking dirt into their exterior womb.
I see. Interesting,
the
isn't
pouch.
it? Yeah, right. Here's another fun fact. The males had a scrotal pouch with which they could draw in their scrotal sac. So their testes, if they wanted to, they could bring them into their body.
Just like you and I, Tim.
Yes. It's uncomfortable, but you can do it.
Are you going to speak about their heads? I need to talk about their heads.
I was just about to get to the fact. You can talk about the heads in general, but the weirdest thing that I found is that they could open their jaws up to 80 degrees.
So this is what I'm saying is that if you picture your dog, I'm sure you have some dogs. Picture a dog, or picture a dog that is similar to this. Like as I said, I think is Red Dog a Kelpie or is he a cattle
Red
dog
Dog's
or
a Kelpie, yeah.
So picture like a Kelpie or something like that. Then in your mind, or with a magic marker, as long as it's not poisonous for the dog, draw a line that goes back another I don't know, 10 centimeters or so. So just extend its smile as far back as you can, and then imagine when that opens, because that's the thing, is that it looks normal, the Tasmanian tiger, but then it's like it can do 80 degrees, and I'm pretty sure its head is like 90% mouth.
Yeah,
it's
like
huge.
Watching those weird, like, first of all, it's like a snake mouth, but then also you see those horror movies where like the monster is like human, but then the human opens its mouth right up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of horrible
like
shit that this creature had going on.
It's like in Beetlejuice, I think, isn't it, where there's the mouth that opens up and a person comes out of it.
Yeah.
It like, and I always forget about it. And as long as its mouth is closed, I said it looks totally normal. But I looked at a picture when I was down there, and I was like, "Can you close your mouth, please? Because it freaks me out."
Yeah, it's weird. So, and their jaws were quite muscular, but apparently quite weak.
Oh,
And they had 46 teeth.
exactly.
Exactly 46.
No more,
we
no
counted
less.
every single thylacine that's ever
We did.
lived. Oh, every single one of them had 46.
That's why they all die, because we put our fingers in their mouths too.
Yeah. And so apparently their footprints were quite different to most creatures as well.
Okay.
So their pad, the pad was quite big. So like it's like
the heel.
the heel, or
Yeah.
like the hand palm area. And then on their front foot, they had on all 4 feet, they had like 4 toes that were definitely very obvious in the paw print. But on
Okay.
their front feet, they also had like a 5th one
Oh my god,
that you could see sometimes in the paw print.
they have hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Maybe they were hunted because they were strangling hunters.
Yeah,
You can only strangle if you got a thumb.
possibly. They're supposed to have made like a weird cough-like bark, like a yip yip sort of sound, like a kayip sort of sound.
That's
It was
very
apparently-
different to a cough in my mind. I was picturing
Yeah.
it just going.
It's quite weird, and like a long whining cry sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we'll find I don't know if the recordings have any sound because it's 1930s. They might.
They might have some. It's possible.
They've probably got separate.
It
sound
won't be very
recordings.
good, but we'll try and have a look. So obviously they lived here in Australia, so they liked it seemed they liked dry eucalyptus forests, but also some wetlands and
Who doesn't?
grasslands. Pretty standard Australian bush and wetland sort of environment. In Tasmania, it's a little bit colder down there, so there's a lot more like bushy woodland sort of environment, which is where they primarily lived. The problem was that when Europeans settled the land, I use the word settled. I don't love the word settled. I don't want to use that word. When they stole the land,
Thank you. That's more appropriate.
when
they salted the earth.
invaded the land, they basically cut down most of that habitat,
Good.
set up farms.
Yes, of course.
The thylacine, being an intelligent animal that was also hungry and displaced from its home, thought, oh fuck, look at all of this free food that these people have brought
Thank
here.
you, farmer man.
Yes. Then the farmers got angry about that and started killing them. And I believe at one point there was like a full cull slash
course there was.
thing going on, and you could get £1 per head of thylacine that you killed, which at that time period is like a lot of money. So people would kill them, and that's why they went extinct.
Hey, old-timey, hey, just, you guys dial your wireless in. Old-timey Australians, you listening? Good. Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, you fucking assholes.
You can't put a dollar, a cent, a price on an animal's head.
Yep, but they did. Oh, there is I just found a picture of one with its mouth open. This is like the
Insane.
last photograph of the last photographed thylacine at Beaumaris Zoo in 1933. Its mouth is very open.
It's 10 opens.
We'll put that up for sure. Quite fucked up. So they ate. I think they did a little bit of
Scavenging?
scavenging. Yeah, obviously they they loved sheep.
Well, who doesn't?
And not wildlife, shit that the Europeans bought. Yeah, they were carnivorous. So they ate other animals.
Good.
There was also the emu. There was emus in Tasmania for a bit there,
Oh, okay.
and I believe they hunted those.
Are there no longer emus in Tasmania?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird to think about Tasmania because it is an island, so whatever is there exists there and can't get around, so it has to perpetuate itself.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah,
Anyway.
it ate, it's believed, kangaroos, wallabies, wombats, birds, small animals like possums and shit, and then also there was emus there.
A real dinner party of friends.
Yeah, so that's fun. So obviously it's extinct. I can't remember what's the exact date it went extinct in Tasmania. In the 30s.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact date that it was declared. It doesn't matter. It was in the 30s.
Yeah.
Too early is what I'm saying.
Yeah, gone too soon. Really.
Too early.
As every animal extinction is.
Yeah. But nowadays there's kind of two fun aspects to the thylacine.
Yes.
Because you still get from time to time reports of sightings of them.
Mm-hmm.
And also with cloning, there was a lot of talk, not so much recently, but there was a lot of talk like in the 2000s.
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
When cloning was like a big conversation about using it to bring them back.
Yeah.
And that's kind of faded from sight, but I think it's still kind of going
I hope so.
on.
That'd be
it's
dope.
like, I think if any animal in Australia, if they were going to use the cloning technology, the thylacine would probably be the first on everyone's list.
Well, I don't know what else they'd bring back. Like, aside from bringing one back from extinction, they would probably use it to boost the numbers of the animals that are in danger. But then you have the issue that I think cloning sometimes runs into the problem of reproduction.
And
they
sometimes
can.
the animals can be sterile, which is,
or
if they can breed, then the offspring are sterile.
Yeah. So I guess that's the problem with bringing back any animal. But yeah, I think you're right. The thylacine would be number one because I don't think they're going to be like, you know what we need? We need some megafauna. Let's get a big ass kangaroo down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool. I'd go look at it.
I believe they do have DNA available to them to do it as well. So that's interesting.
Well, it's probably the other thing is it's probably one of the few extinct animals that we have the DNA for because it was extinct recently.
Yeah, so that's that. They're on the Tasmanian coat of arms.
Oh, do they?
Fun fact. What else?
Cascade.
What fun cultural facts have they affected in Australia?
They're on the Cascade.
They are. Yeah,
label?
Cascade beers. Cascade being one of the oldest beers in Australia as well.
Yes, we did find that out when we were doing our research for the other one. But so they're on that that label. I don't know. I'm trying to think about Tasmanian tiger. There's not much. I'm sure there's representations of it in cartoons and movies and things like that.
Yeah, they're a weird animal that everyone. I remember growing up, it was always like an animal that was talked about in class a lot.
Yeah,
when we were talking about Australian animals, because it was an example of
what not to do,
like overhunting to the extreme and extinction of an Australian animal. So we talked about it a lot, and then I had these weird kind of romanticized ideas about them. And I remember going to Tasmania as a kid and being like excited at the potential of maybe like, oh, what if you saw one? Like, oh, what would you do? Nothing.
No.
But didn't see one, so that was disappointing.
Yeah, they're interesting. And Tasmania, as I said, I was there last week. Highly recommend it to everyone. Very interesting place. Went to the Zoo. Got to see. Like, very well, I got to see a Tasmanian devil because he was hanging out in the sun and then he had feeding time.
Right.
Learned a bunch about them. Learned some things that I don't know if we covered in our episode, but learned some stuff. I'm pretty sure in our episode we talked about the fact that there is like an island area where all the Tasmanian devils are all good. I think I was accidentally there.
Right.
Because where we were, they were talking about the fact that all their Tasmanian devils were free from the mouth cancer.
Yeah.
And on the other side of the like water, at one point, some unhealthy ones got through or something like that, and they ended up culling them all and getting rid of all the diseased ones and introducing new ones. But there's also a Tasmanian devil-proof fence at the bridge, because she's like, you drive over this bridge, it makes a weird sound. It does make a weird sound. I don't know how it's Tasmanian devil-proof, but supposedly they swim really well, so they have to proof that shit out too.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, learnt a lot, super interesting. If you're in Australia and you go to Tasmania, do that. If you're coming to Australia, go to Tasmania to go to that zoo, because there was also some, like, it was like $30 to get in. We fed some kangaroos. Now, let me just...
The name Unzoo. Un is a negative, which makes me think it's not like a normal zoo.
It's not like
would
your
I be
average zoo. You would
like
be.
it's a not zoo?
Yeah, they don't... They're trying to get rid of cages. I met the owner because he was working the front desk. I didn't realize he was the owner at the time, but so they try to get rid of cages. It's a theory based on another guy. These guys have been doing it for a couple of years. They used to be a wildlife park. Now they're the Unzoo. So it essentially meant like the Tasmanian devils are in cages. Well, not in cages, but they're in an enclosure.
An enclosure of sort.
There are some birds, like birds that have been recovering from something that are in cages. But otherwise, there's a lot of animals that are just kind of in the open. And so when I was talking to him, he was like, well, we can't even tell you how many... He said how many Tasmanian devils they have, so I think there's a lot that still come around, because he's like, 'cause we don't count them. Like, we don't know how many birds there are, so we don't count them. So there's like, they go out and there's a whole a seabird experience where, we went out there and the chick that was running the thing, the lady that was running the thing, had like fish or something, and the sea eagle didn't turn up that day, so I didn't see a sea eagle. But like I did see like a honey eater or something like that. Like, really interesting. Anyway, the two best things that happened, aside from the Tasmanian devil, now one, we went and fed kangaroos. Now, my story of kangaroos, remember when Tim told the story where he got overwhelmed by deer? Just replace all of that, but with a kangaroo. The kangaroos are very pleasant. They were well behaved, adorable. There was a joey that was killing with him how cute it was. And there was even a little joey in the pouch still. Like, unbelievably cute. Patamelons, hilarious creatures. Like wallaby kangaroo things that are skittish as hell. Anyway, there was one in particular. And so you get your feed, and you keep your feed in one hand, and then you try to have like the one that you're actually going to feed, so you can't ration it. So I'd ration some to this one, and then he was a real nose breather. He'd be like at me, and I'm like, what do you want? And he would like start grabbing at my hand. Yeah. So they would like at the start of the feeding, kind of timid, very happy. By the end of it, they're grabbing at your hand, like clawing you. Like, I had one of them that whilst I fed it, it just held onto my arm and was like, hey, don't move. So that happened. The second best thing, now, I don't know if other people will appreciate this, but I fucking love tawny frogmouths.
They're a good bird.
I love them. I think they're great.
They're a good un-owl.
They are a good un-owl. And the other day I was like, what makes them not an owl? And as I started reading, I was like, you know what makes them not an owl? They're just a bird. Yeah. Like, I had this real hard time being like, well, how are they not an owl? Yeah. The same way most birds are. Show me the
fucking scientific evidence. Show me the documentation.
I was like, because all birds are owls. But they had I had two in kind of enclosures, and they were good because they were like sitting right there and I could see them and it was great. But then we were walking around and I noticed there's one on a log. They are the funniest things to look at because they think that you can't see them, and they sit there with their head up and their eyes closed, but they can still just see. So they just side eye you. Yeah. So I was getting really close to this one, and he was like, "You can't see me." And then I'd move around him. He's like, "Oh shit, can you see me?" No, you can't see me.
It's like a 5-year-old child pretending to sleep.
Yeah, pretty much. So I got a bunch of photos of this 24 frogmouth. It was great. Anyway, that's my spiel on going there. But Tasmania itself is beautiful. And there was a little exhibit on the Tasmanian tiger down there.
Thylacine,
lots of merchandise, obviously, as Tasmanian tiger stuff down there as well.
Yeah.
But that covers up the Tasmanian tiger, I think.
Indeed, yeah.
What's that sound?
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
It's a Harold Holt watch.
I said it in a creepy voice, but it was pretty flawless in general.
I think it was flawless. What I like when we do the Harold Holt, because part of the kimono here, we do pause after we say it so that I can snip it easily. But what I like is that we do the build up, we do the Harold Holt, and then I just kind of like, we both just kind of like
sit here and like
momentarily.
I close my laptop.
Yeah, we pick up the phone. It's a whole thing. Anyway, Tim, I've got an electronic letter here for you.
Thanks.
Dear Tim and Leon, to me too, obviously. My name is Miranda, and I live in Hobart.
Hello, Miranda from Hobart.
I was recently at the Salamanca markets where I have a stall that sells jams, honey, and wooden pens. I usually do pretty well on a Saturday, as I am obviously working in a niche market. I'll contest that in a little bit there. I know all the locals that come into the market, and it is rare that someone I don't know comes to the stall. Okay. But on Saturday, this elderly gentleman came to the stall and asked how much honey and jam I had and how much it would cost to buy the lot.
Right. He didn't want the pens?
No, the pens are obviously he didn't need the pens.
It's weird that she sells pens, to be honest, but continue with the story.
I was taken by surprise, but I quickly started doing the calculations. As I was working it out, the local police officers walked by my stall, as they always patrol the markets. The police seemed to make my customer uneasy. When I'd finally worked out how much it would cost, I looked up and the man was gone.
Oh, no.
As I wondered where he had gone, I realized that I recognized his face. I am sure it was Harold Holt. It had to be.
It must have been.
Anyway, thanks for the years of laughter. All the best for your upcoming tour to Indonesia. Thanks, Miranda.
They love us in Indonesia.
They do. Thanks, Miranda.
Yeah, right, Miranda.
Now, Miranda, before I get into the possible sighting, here's the thing about Salamaker Markets. I was there recently, but coincidentally, to Miranda's
maybe the same day.
Message. When you say a niche market, I think you mean that it's a niche market to find a stall that doesn't sell jam, honey, or wooden pens.
Yeah. She's going for the niche of selling all of it.
Yeah, for selling it all at once.
Bring it all to the one place.
That was definitely Harold. Because why would a regular Joe ex-Prime Minister go down there and ask for all the honey and jam unless he was our Prime Minister on the run trying to hide, needs some
Got to
stores.
stock up on honey and jam, and you're going to get the best of the market, aren't you?
Yeah, Tasmania's
it's
probably,
homegrown.
if I was going to hide out somewhere, it's probably a good place. A lot of bush, a lot of mountains.
Yeah.
You know?
Good food down
He's
there.
probably got
too.
an army of Tasmanian devils in case people come to him.
Yeah, maybe he's doing some cloning, getting the thylacine up and going.
Maybe he's in
got
a
an
cottage
army
with a
of them.
thylacine already.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's Harold Holt for this week. Thanks, Miranda.
Yeah, cheers for that, Mizza. I've just decided to start calling you that. We don't know each other because I'm a real human man and you're a
What are you gonna
real
say?
human woman.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
So
Keep those
good luck to it.
those sightings coming in. They flow every 2 weeks. It's amazing that the backlog we have. But you know, if you get a new one, you might get on the show. You might get on. Send those to us either through social media or through the email. Tim, this week or last week, I think it was early this week. I don't know what year it is anymore. An episode was released of a podcast that I guested on. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I guested on a podcast that is called G'day Means Welcome.
No, you didn't mention it actually, but yes, you
which
did do
is three American ladies who are here talking about kind of moving to Australia. Hint, hint to any of our friends in America who should definitely move here.
Yeah.
So talking about Australia, living here and stuff like that. So I went on there and I was the, expert. So we talked about, I think it's going to be a two-parter episode. We talked about footy, food, swearing, the usual things.
Yes. Dick.
So that was good. So you check that out. It's G'day Means Welcome. Go check them out. I think I retweeted it. So if you have the Twitter,
they have the name. They have the word "g'day" in their name too, like us.
Yeah, that was pretty much where Charlotte started the conversation. Was that we both had "g'day" in our title, and I said, "Back off."
We were here first.
So that's important. Now, Tim, this is our 61st episode. We're over the hill. And far away at this
Everyone
point.
knows the 61st is the most important birthday.
Yeah, either it's 8 off nice. I've also got to link up that intro where it proves that I said the joke before you.
No.
No. Tim's gonna hack my computer and delete it. We don't advertise this show in a conventional manner. Like we once in a while we've paid for an Instagram or a Facebook ad here, but we don't advertise it in a conventional manner. We rely on word of mouth or word of social media.
Hi.
What that means is that a lot of the time it's us posting on social media. We do a lot of social media posting ourselves. What would be amazing is if our lovely listeners, Tim, could spare 5 minutes this week.
Yeah, spare a share.
And all you have to do in that 5 minutes, I'm asking for two things, and if you complete one of them, you're ahead of the game. The two things is, number one, share it on either Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. Just like half the time, all you got to do is click a button just to share it to your wall. You don't have to do anything. You just click the share button.
Yeah.
Or you just share it with someone specifically that you know will listen to it. Number two, if you could write us a review on whatever app you're using, that'd be great. I don't understand anything aside from iTunes, but I do think you can leave reviews on Google Play.
Oh, really? I
What
didn't
were
even
you
know.
going to say?
I didn't know that you could leave reviews on other apps. There you go.
Yeah, I think you can do it on Google Play. You might be able to do it on Spotify. I'm not sure. If your app has the capability of leaving a review, if you could do that, that'd be great. Even if you don't write anything, if you just click the 5 stars or something, or, obviously... No, you're going to click 5 stars.
If you click
know
the
what options
5
there.
stars,
Yeah.
not any other stars.
That would be great. It would really help us out. We don't ask it often. We do ask you to share around, but we haven't kind of done this thing before or in a while. It would mean a lot. We have a number of you. It'd be great to have more. It'd be great to share the show with more people.
Hey,
It'd be grouse, if you will. So 5 minutes. It'll take less than that. Share the show, rate and review it.
thank you very much. In anticipation.
In anticipation. We also have decided to do Inktober. And by that I mean we decided to create it, and I'm doing it because Tim won't.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that it had been decided until we were already underway.
Yeah, it's almost...
But,
Some would say the decision was semi-one-sided.
some would say I got a message with a list of words that said, this is for Inktober, and I wrote back, what's Inktober?
And I said, thank you for your approval, and posted it.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen. So that's a bit of fun. So if you're into, I was going to say if you're into drawing, even if you're not, I'm doing it. I can't draw. I don't draw well, so I'm doing it. But we've had some submissions from Ali Shipmapants Shans. She's done some good stuff. We've had some, now I'm adding a new nickname, by the way. We've had some from Aiden Feelin' Good.
Oh.
Aiden Feelin'. How's that one, Aiden? Do you like that? If you don't bother.
Take it out in a public domain would be perfect.
Still waiting on that contract for Glen Rowan, but we're happy to wait. And we've also had some from Keaton. What's Keaton's last name?
Keaton Lindsay.
Keaton
he
Lindsay.
is an old friend from Coughs. The Judas to my Jesus 11 years ago, actually. I don't know if I told you that.
No.
When I did Godspell, Keaton played Judas.
We know what they say, Keaton. Prepare you the way of the Lord, am I right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I?
No, you're not right. That's
no.
actually sung by a different character.
Oh, okay.
But he did sing some songs.
Oh, he was in that one.
Yeah.
Some Men Are Born to Live at Ease, am I right?
Yeah.
So...
Actually, yes, you are right.
Yeah, no,
that
I'm
is
right
his
there.
song.
I did Godspell once. I played Leon. Yeah, so there are people that are doing it. It's fun. I'm doing it every night, and it's soothing, sometimes stressful. It's all Australian related, but get into it if you want and share it around.
Have a bit
The
of fun.
hashtag, look, I'm not going to say I'm super proud of it, but I'm super proud of it because it's hashtag Gadoodle.
Like a penis.
Yeah, no, it is.
Why not?
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
That's what Tim and I hashtag our nudes when we do a leak of our nude
Gadoodle.
I think that's it. Thanks as always to Teylor Smirl for our wonderful cover art. Make sure you're following her on all the social medias and listening to her podcast, Still Buffering.
Hey, and Curtis Fernance, Fern Tree Music. You can follow him. He also has a Twitch stream.
He does have a Twitch stream. It's quite good.
He plays quite often. He also often plays with another friend, Daniel, who's been on the show. Dan. They're very funny guys.
Yes.
So I would recommend.
I
If you
have
want to
some...
watch some hilarious Twitch playthrough stuff, get on there. Watch them.
I have some insider information that Curtis has a good lineup for the kind of Halloween season that we are in. So
that's October.
now's the time to jump on it.
Yeah. Jump on the bandwagon while it is ready to start racing down the hill.
Well, it's hot and ready. Follow all our social medias at Yeah G'day Podcast. Jump in the Yeah G'day fans group on the Facebook. Check out the merchandise. I've got 2 shirts coming my way, and I'll be looking sexy as. Patreon and we did a Patreon episode, Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Talked about Rocco's Modern Life, so that's a bit of fun.
Good stuff in that.
And otherwise, I think that is what's the English word for it?
Finished?
Everything. Yeah, everything. As always. Yeah, g'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone. Catches on the flippity flop, mate.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award winning Auscast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Auscast.
Simply head to auscastnetwork.com for details.